Imagine yourself walking down a bustling street in Los Angeles, surrounded by bright lights, honking cars, and the ceaseless hum of urban life. Amidst all the chaos, your eyes are drawn to an old building that stands out in a strange way. It's not just its age. There's something eerie about it, as if time has frozen around it. This is the Cecil Hotel, a structure shrouded in secrets and terrifying stories that send chills down your spine. From the outside, the hotel seems ordinary. A classic facade, small windows lined up evenly, and a sign bearing its name, Cecil Hotel. But the sign isn't bright or inviting. The colors are faded, and the letters look like they're clinging to the frame as if resisting decay. However, the moment you step inside, everything changes. The atmosphere shifts. The air feels heavy, almost oppressive. Maybe it's the inexplicable silence in a place meant to be alive with activity. Or perhaps it's the sensation of unseen eyes watching your every move. The Cecil Hotel opened in 1924, intended to be a beacon of luxury and comfort for wealthy travelers and those seeking refuge. But something about it felt off from the beginning. It was as if the very ground it was built on rejected its purpose. Over the years, it became infamous, not for its hospitality, but for the dark events that unfolded within its walls. In the 1930s, a string of mysterious events began to plague the hotel. One of the earliest stories was that of a young woman who jumped to her death from the 10th floor. There was no apparent reason for her suicide. She was young, beautiful, successful, and had no known troubles. Witnesses claimed she was speaking to someone invisible before she leaped. Her face wasn't filled with fear, it held a smile. Some said she wasn't alone, that an unseen force pushed her. This incident was just the start. In the years that followed, the hotel began attracting a peculiar kind of guest. Criminals on the run, people seeking a temporary hideout before disappearing forever, and those who seemed to be running not from others, but from life itself. During the 1940s and 1950s, the number of suicides and unexplained deaths at the Cecil skyrocketed. One man was found dead in his room, without a single mark on his body. Another woman was brutally stabbed to death in the elevator. Her killer never caught. These tragedies left behind more questions than answers. But these were merely precursors to the darker tales that emerged. The Cecil wasn't just a place where tragedies happened. It began to feel like the hotel itself was alive, feeding on despair. Guests reported hearing strange noises at night. Muffled screams, whispers from within the walls, and heavy footsteps echoing through empty hallways. Some claimed to see shadowy figures darting across rooms, even when the doors were locked. Others woke up to find scratch marks on their bodies, as if something had been watching and touching them as they slept. The most chilling story of all, however, is that of Elisa Lam. In 2013, Elisa, a young Canadian traveler, arrived in Los Angeles. She was on a solo trip and booked a room at the Cecil Hotel. At first, everything seemed normal. She stayed in touch with her family daily, sharing updates about her journey. But then, without warning, she disappeared. No one heard from her, and her family reported her missing. The last time Elisa was seen was in surveillance footage from the hotel elevator. The video, which later went viral, is nothing short of haunting. Elisa is seen entering the elevator, pressing all the buttons, then standing in the corner as if hiding from someone. She cautiously peeks out into the hallway, her head slowly emerging as if she's checking for something or someone. Then, she begins moving strangely. Her hands contort as if she's trying to touch or communicate with something unseen. Days later, complaints started pouring in from hotel guests about foul-smelling water and an odd taste. When workers inspected the water tank on the roof, they made a gruesome discovery: Elisa's lifeless body floating inside. Her death was shrouded in mystery. The tank's lid was tightly closed, making it nearly impossible for her to have entered it on her own. How did she get there? Why? No one knows. But the Cecil's horrors don't end with Elisa's story. Former employees have shared chilling accounts of their own. One staff member swore he saw a man sitting in the lobby late at night, staring blankly ahead. When the staffer approached to tell him it was closing time, the man vanished before his eyes. Other reports are just as unsettling. Guests have heard the laughter of children in the halls. Even though there were no children staying at the hotel, doors are said to open and close on their own. One guest recounted waking up in the middle of the night to find a figure sitting at the foot of their bed. The shadow was unmistakable, but when they tried to scream or move, they couldn't. Moments later, the figure disappeared as if it had never been there. The hotel itself feels alive, pulsing with malevolence. Its walls seem to whisper secrets it refuses to reveal. Some believe the Cecil was built on cursed ground. Others think the souls of those who died within its confines never left, bound to the place that claimed them, trying to communicate in their own terrifying ways. To this day, the Cecil Hotel remains a place of both fear and fascination. Some visit out of morbid curiosity, drawn to its dark history. Others avoid it altogether, terrified by the mere thought of stepping inside. And yet, one question lingers. Is the Cecil just an old building with an unfortunate past? Or is there something far more sinister lurking within its walls, patiently waiting for its next victim?
Join our family and be part of our adventures. Just click the subscribe button now.